Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. Today, our presentation is going to be focused around closing the tech gap here at West Elementary. We're going to be planning for equitable technology access for all of our students through collaboration. Something that I know is a core value to me and is a core value to our campus is that every student deserves the best and an equal opportunity to shine and grow. Now, what is the problem at hand that we're regarding? Today, we're regarding the issue where our district, Middlebury District, determined that we can no longer afford to fund our campus's lack of access to technology. Now, this isn't a challenge that we just throw our hands in the air and say, oh, well, I guess we can't have the technology. If anything, it's to cause a reaction of passion and motivation within us. And now the reason for that is the unequal fundraising power. As we know, our campus is a lower socioeconomic status in when you're looking at the full big picture. And there are a lot of hidden barriers to the involvement that we have there. This is something that I am very passionate about moving us forward and moving us through. And so the limitations that we have present, of course, we have the limitation of the budget with our district. But when we're talking about our families and our population in total, well, first, a lot of our families have multiple jobs. A lot of our parents are working two or more jobs just to make ends meet. And they need to be respected and understood for that. Something that I feel a lot of schools don't do is meet the parents halfway in terms of the time that they're able to contribute. The second is inflexible schedules or inconsistent schedules. Shift work leaves very little room for daytime school events. So I know that we've had daytime school events in the past that haven't been very successful in terms of our attendance rate. I know that that's something that's been frustrating, and I'm willing to try to find a solution for this issue. And then, of course, limited transportation, something that we notice at pickup and drop off procedures every morning and every afternoon is because a lot of our families are working several jobs or working to make ends meet, or maybe even working weird shift times. They have to collaborate together as family members to be able to pick up and drop off their students. And because of that, there's a lot of lack of transportation. Some families don't have cars, or some families don't have the proper transportation to be here at that time of certain meetings or events that we have. So, of course, we know our challenges, we know what the problem is, right? Our goal is to make sure that every single student has the technology they need to excel in their academics. Now, how are we going to do this? Well, I didn't come here without a vision for y'all. The first thing in our vision is building a PTA that builds us up. What I really want to create here is not just an opportunity for collaboration, but a opportunity for partnership. Now, partnership means that it's giving both ways, that we're really working to understand our families, to work alongside our families, and for them to realize the impact that they have on their students' education. So, this can be very simple and powerful. For a lot of campuses, building a PTA is no big issue, depending on the socioeconomics of the parents. But because we do have these challenges, it is going to be a little bit more nuanced for us in building a PTA. And I have some different recommendations that we can use to really entice parents to build that partnership and to really foster on that collaboration. So we want to build those strong support systems, we want to build that partnership, and we want to get that sustainable funding for our technology. So, first of all, we got to make our joining the PTA irresistible. Now, I know when you hear PTA, nobody's doing backflips or getting super excited. So, I found a way to kind of incentivize this. So, we're going to have a booth not only at the open house, but we're going to have it at the Meet the Teacher night or any kind of a recruiting event that we can get into. Very simple booth where we're going to have a pamphlet with information about our PTA, some events that we have previously held, and some events that we hope to hold this upcoming school year. Now, the meat and potatoes of this is to get the families to complete a short parent survey. Now, nobody loves filling out surveys, right? A lot of people think it's extraneous or a waste of time. And because we're going to be holding this at open house and meet the teacher night, where parents are going to have to go elsewhere in the school for information they need, we're going to make it as accessible as possible by providing a QR code. Now, this survey is not going to be very long. It's not going to be excessive. It's going to be very brief. And what it's going to ask is it's going to ask how they would like to contribute. Some parents may be able to contribute time. Some may be able to contribute money, and some may be able to contribute resources. And so we want to see where they're able to contribute. And then we want to know when they'd be available. And so this is going to differ for a lot of our families, but it's going to be the first step in really gathering that data for us to know the proper times to meet with these families. Because again, this is a partnership. We need to make sure that we're meeting them where they feel comfortable as well, providing different opportunities for them to join in and truly making it accessible to even the parents that may have multiple jobs. So, in a big picture, broad spectrum aspect, this is going to be the timeline for this semester. And this is mostly what I'm holding in account, but I want to share with you to be as transparent as possible. So, by September, we're going to hold our first PTA meeting. Now, something I didn't mention earlier in the previous slide is when I hold that booth at the open house, I will be personally running that booth. And I have set aside a special incentive for the families that complete the survey. The incentive is for donated day passes, tickets to the Kalahari Water Park, which is up in Round Rock. I have worked with them. They're one of our community partnerships that we are working with. They have given us 4 day passes because we know not a lot of the families only have 2 or 3 members. We wanted to be able to provide 4 for them. And so every raffle ticket will be entered for each family that completes a survey. So basically, at the end of the survey, it will go into a Google Sheets, and that will help me keep all of the families for the raffle tickets. And so the first, or for a family that completes the survey and attends the meeting, now they can attend the meeting either in person or virtually, they will win the 4 day passes. And so this is something that can not only entice the parents, but could also be a very big intrigue for the students, right? Hey, mom, go sign up for the PTA. We have a chance of winning Kalahari Day passes. So this is something that could really engage our community and get them enticed and get them engaged with joining the PTA. And so, with the timeline, we're going to hold that first PTA meeting. And again, like I said, we're going to offer those tickets to whichever family won the raffle. Then in October, after working together with the PTA, we're going to establish a year-long fundraising calendar. Now, further on in this presentation, I'm going to show you some different fundraising ideas that we do have. I'm going to present those to the PTA and receive input from them. And we're going to be able to kind of schedule it out where we want them in the year. Because as we know, if we run a billion fundraisers at once, everything's going to get jumbled up. We're going to have a hard time. So we want to make it manageable. In November, or by November more so, I will be reaching out to local businesses that can act as sponsorships for us, such as Kalahari, Austin Spurs, Austin FC, and Chick-fil-A, amongst bunches of other local communities. And something that is really great about our community in specifically is a lot of our families run restaurants and run local businesses around here. So if there is a way that we can build that business partnership and really help promote their business and help them also be able to contribute to their students' education, wow, what a great thing, right? And then by December, I hope to apply for at least 2 to 3 technology grants. I'm also going to be sending out in our weekly newsletters grants that teachers can apply for as well for their classrooms to help fund not only technology, but to fund any school supplies and resources they need. So the first thing I want to do to really amp up the attendance with PTA. So we got that Kalahari incentive, but I wanted to go one step further. We know that most parents typically start their shift pretty early in the morning, right? And so I wanted to make myself as accessible as possible to not only receive input, but to hear their concerns, to hear their ideas. And so what I've decided to do is hold every Friday morning, we're going to do coffee with the principal from 7:15 to 8 a.m. It's going to be in the cafeteria every Friday. And it's going to give me an opportunity to not only offer a cup of coffee, which, come on, what a better way to start your day, especially before a long work day. But it gives me an opportunity to meet with those parents, to foster those relationships, possibly even identify and recruit possible PTA members. A lot of our parents may be concerned that they're not able to meet the restrictions of PTAs such as other schools have, but I really want to show them that they can contribute in multiple ways and they don't have to meet any requirements. I want this to be extremely low pressure and I want them to feel encouraged. So, community partnerships are going to multiply our reach for sure. Reaching out to local businesses, trying to even get local businesses to sponsor spirit nights, which not only gives a percentage of the sales back to the school, but also promotes the local business and provides an easy win for the families. So, it's a win 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 situation. And then lastly, finding volunteer committees, finding out which members of the PTA are available and when. And again, really putting the emphasis on our appreciation and our gratitude for them returning their time and efforts into their student. So, like I said, I do have a couple of different fundraising ideas that we can kind of talk about. These are just 8 ideas that I have. I am more than happy to hear your input, to hear your concerns, to receive different ideas from you guys. Even if you have different local community partnerships that you're already aware about that we could utilize here on our campus. We have to remember that we are a team and we got to work together. So I am more than happy to receive any input that you guys have. The first one is our Hispanic Heritage Month. Every year we have this, and we have it where our students are able to perform all the way from pre-K 3 to 5th grade. And typically the parents come out and they watch their student perform and they go home. Well, I thought, why don't we give it a little bit of a makeover, right? Hispanic heritage is something that is so near and dear to our campus because it's a high percentage of our students are either Hispanic or Latino culture. So I thought it would be extremely emphatic to not only have our Hispanic Heritage Month, but to make it a celebration truly. And so by that, we're going to work with our local partnerships, work with any donations from PTA, donations from administration, and donations from teachers to put together a plate sale. And so this taco plate sale is going to be about $4 for kids, $8 for adults, open to change if need be. It's going to include a dessert and a drink and can be paid with the online system or in cash. So that way it is accessible to all families. We want to make sure that it's accessible in any way that they can possibly pay. And so this is going to include a dessert and a drink. And that way they're able to not only enjoy the performance that their student puts on, but it can foster that community, foster the collaboration, and in the long run, also provide them a meal. The next is pancake brunch. So on a Saturday morning of our choosing, we're going to be working with student council representatives, and we're going to charge $5 a person for a pancake breakfast. We're going to make sure to supply all of the resources we would need, and we can, of course, use the cafeteria for free kitchen use. We're going to make sure that there are gluten-free and dairy-free options if needed as well. Next is going to be our community bingo night. So who doesn't love bingo, right? For $5 to $10, depending on the game that they play, we're going to play bingo. Again, we can kind of loop in student council or any student leaders that would like to be a part of this. And then we're also going to provide donated prizes from local businesses, such as gift cards and so on and so forth. Last on this is the school carnival. The school carnival is something that we can easily do with a lot of volunteers. So this is where I'm going to resort to asking the PTA who is willing and able to give their time, as well as teachers and as well as students. We might even resort to asking the high school students to volunteer for volunteer hours as well to give back to the community. And then I will also have a teacher incentive if you decide to volunteer your time. So we may have activities such as cakewalks, ring toss, and face painting. Each ticket will only be 25 cents, or they can purchase 100 tickets for $25. Each activity will have a different amount of tickets that it requires, such as the cakewalk may be 20 tickets, ring toss may be 10 tickets, and face painting may be 50 tickets. This is a way to, again, engage the community, to engage our students, and to really foster that community. And then the last four ideas I have for you are a little on the smaller scale, but are a little more consistent as the year goes on. So the first being Snack Fridays. On every Friday, I'm working with the cafeteria currently on finding some semi-healthy options for chips, popsicles, popcorn, snacks of any variety that we can offer Friday at lunch. They'll be about $1 to $3 each, and students are able to bring that in on Friday just as a little treat before the weekend. And that could be something that is, again, contributed towards this initiative. The next is Candygrams. So we are again going to partner PTA and Student Council to create Candygrams for Valentine's Day. They can range from $1 to $10 depending on the treat of the student's choice. Of course, it will need to be sent home with a form that parents will sign and send the money into the front office, but then they will be delivered by students or staff. And then the last two might possibly be my favorites. The first is Penny Wars. This requires almost no cost to run. We're going to have empty gallon water jugs at the front office of our school labeled with each grade. As students bring in spare change, notice I said spare change and not cash, they will be adding it into their grade levels bucket. Whichever grade level gets the first bucket filled, they will get a pizza party. The second will get a popsicle party, and the third will get a dance party in our gymnasium. This is, again, almost no cost, and it's very easy for our students to be able to accomplish. Last is our teacher challenge. So this one, I have a little bit of an option here, and maybe you guys can help give me input on what you think is best. But the first option I have is taping the principal to a wall. And yes, I will let you tape me to a wall for $2 for a piece of tape. Every piece of tape is about 1.5 feet long, approximately, or for $5 a pie meaning an aluminum tin with a bunch of whipped cream in it, they could pie a teacher in the face. Again, it just embraces the lightheartedness of our community, really bringing people together, having a great time, and fostering that collaboration. And so, we know the problem at hand. We know the challenges we face, but we're not going to let that hold us back or hinder us. We're going to make sure that we are collaborating and working as a family, just like this campus is, and working to make sure that every student gets that technology device by next year. I am so extremely motivated and so excited to work with each and every one of you to get closer to this goal. The last thing I'm going to leave you with is that we are going to have a live progress display. I know that for parents, for teachers, even for students, they want to see what is their time, what is their energy, what is their money going towards. So we're going to have a live progress display for our technology initiative. It's going to be posted on our website and in the front office. So that way it shows exactly how close to our goal we are. This can be extremely motivating, having that visual. And it also provides the opportunity, if parents want to send the link to a family member, to be able to donate towards their child's educational experience and donate towards the technology initiative, they can actually donate online as well. And so I think that this will be a really powerful tool that will keep us staying motivated and keep us on task. Thank you all for your time today. Again, I am so looking forward to working closely with each and one of you to make this happen. And I respect and appreciate any input that you have. Thank you so much.